Allie with Potomac Beads. Join me in creating this Glisten Pendant featuring some Potomac Crystals as well as PieDuos. If you need any supplies, check the links out below to shop with us online. Don't forget also during the video to comment below with color suggestions, changes, and really help to build this amazing beading community. Gather up your supplies and your bead on it board and let's get started. So to begin our pendant here, you can see there's a multitude of different colors you can use. I'm using the long ovals in setting, and they're a 5 by 15 size, as well as one of the bigger cushions in an 18 miller emerald or fern color, 3 millimeter Potomac crystal rounds in the same, as well as some PieDuos in jet. They get hidden along the back, so it honestly doesn't really matter which color you're using. I picked the jet because it was included in a bunch of the different boxes, as well as some free samples that we sent out. And then also the Duracoat Galvanized Magenta in the 1504-209, the Miyuki brand. I'm going to begin by creating a nice, basically bezel setting with my PieDuos linking on to my ovals. To do so, we're going to use green wildfire thread since I have a bunch of green crystals, and I'm using the 0.006 size along with a size 12 beading needle and a stop bead at the end of about 4 feet of beading thread. I'm going to pick up my first of my crystals here, and I'm going through one of the exterior holes coming out toward the top, and I'm going to add 1, 2, and 3 of my 15-Os. Those 3 15-Os are going to sit along the back here, right here where you can see them, linking on. We're going to go up then through our PieDuo from the center of the pie toward the crust end. And when we come out the top there, I want you to add a total of 9 15-Os. So we're going to get 9 on our thing here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I want you to come down the second hole of the PieDuo. So those 9 beads just kind of float and hang out at the top. I'm going to add 3 more of my 15-Os, and then I'm going to add my next oval. This is going to look like a long line when you're first starting. So don't think about the fact that it's going into a square yet. We're going to keep it as a nice long line. When I come to the front of the oval here, I want to add some 15-Os that are going to span the side of your oval. So we're going to add 6 of our 15-Os onto our needle. And I'm going with bold colors kind of out of my comfort range here. We're going with 6 15s, and we're going to go through the next hole of our long oval crystal. And those 6 are just going to hang out there waiting for the next step. 3 more seed beads go on, up through my PieDuo, again from the center toward the crust. 9 more beads go on. And then once you have those 9 beads on there, you're going to go down through your PieDuo, through the second hole and out. Once you're out that second hole, we repeat again. So we're going to add in and keep going with our pieces, and then as we add in the last of our PieDuos, we'll link it up to the start as well. So 3 more beads go on into my next crystal, then 6 across the spans of the bottom, and so forth. So you're going to use all 4 of your ovals and all 4 of your PieDuos. When I come out the second hole of that last PieDuo, we're going to go into the first hole of the first oval crystal setting. Once you've added in your last crystal and the last of your PieDuo beads here, it'll sit nice and kind of flat. And what we're going to do is we're going to round it out and bring it into our square shape. To do so and to bring it into that square shape, you're coming out your last of your PieDuos there, coming out toward the bottom. You're going to add your 3 15-Os onto your thread and needle, and then sew down through that first oval from the top toward the bottom, or where the stop bead is. So you're coming across here with your needle and thread into that oval, down, adding your 6 beads here, right along the bottom of the oval, and then up through the oval. In addition to going through the oval with your thread and needle, I also want you to go through those first 3 15-O seed beads that you put on, the first PieDuo, as well as the next 5 15-Os after that first PieDuo. When you pull that nice and tight, then it's going to kind of sit funky. It sits almost in a square, but the ovals don't really know what to do. What we're going to do right now is link together all of our PieDuos, and our PieDuos we are going to sew through the 5th bead on the top of each of those PieDuos. What's going to happen is that's going to bring it back to make our bezel to put our fern crystal in here. So we're coming out of bead number 5 on our first PieDuo, and we're going to go, see whichever way the thread is going, I'm going to go over to my next PieDuo, count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and sew through just bead number 5. Over to the next PieDuo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grab that 5th and center one, sew through. So it's very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grab that center one. And then as you're doing your last one, you can see I haven't pulled it tight yet, but we're linking those all together. I'm going to go back into my first one that I added, as well as through the second 15-0. What that's going to do is just work to tighten up that back a little bit. As you pull nice and tightly then, you see that netting and that kind of beautiful flower start to occur. See how that's sitting nice and easy? Those PieDuo then are kind of sitting toward the top right now. We're actually going to do it that I want those PieDuos to be upside, or those crystals rather, to be upside down. We're going to drop our square in, and then we are going to turn these up toward the interior. So you now have the connection point there. You want all your ovals facing down, and we'll get ready to connect and turn the ovals up as we add in our nice cushion bead. From here, we want to take our thread and needle and get to the exterior, to those groupings of 6 seed beads that are on the outside of all of our ovals. To do so, I'm going to turn it back over, kind of upside down here. It looks like it could be right side up because the crystals are facing up, but you want to make sure they're facing down. I'm coming out of one of those 5th beads, and I'm going to go down through beads 6, 7, 8, and 9, down through the PieDuo, through the 3 seed beads that sit prior to the oval, as well as through the oval and out. That's going to get me to the exterior so I can get ready to put in my cushion bead there. What we're going to do now is we are going to link all of these 6 sets of seed beads with our crystal in between each. So I'm going to sew through my 6 seed beads that are on the side here. And then as I come out of there, I want you to add 115, 1 crystal, 115, and then you're going to pick up and sew through the next grouping of 6. So you can see, just like we went through with the PieDuos, and we were catching on to all of them and kind of bringing them into that square, we're going to do the same thing now with our ovals. Remember, they're facing upside down. On goes a 15, a round crystal, a 15. Sew through the next set of 6. So you're going to do this 4 times because we have 4 corners, and that's going to create our bezel. As I'm doing this, I'm going to do the first 2, and then as I get to the 3rd and the 4th, I'll sit my cushion in there and get ready, because that's going to pull in toward the interior of that, you can see. So again, is going to go around here with 2 more of my round crystals, back through those 6 seed beads that we started with, and then out through one of my crystals. As you come back around then, remember you're going through your last 6 there, I'm going through my 15 as well as my 3mm crystal, giving a nice tight pull. You can see how this turns those ovals up toward the top, and your PieDuos just fit perfectly along the back there. We're going to continue to decorate a little bit, adding in some more seed beads. So I want to go through the next 15-0 after the crystal, as well as that group of 6 15-0s that we put toward the interior of the oval crystals. I'm going to bring my needle out after that, and now we're going to decorate the interior a little bit with some more pink. To do so, I want to use 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of my 15s. You're going to skip over the 15 crystal 15 and sew into your next grouping of 6 seed beads. Take those seed beads and turn them toward the interior of the project and give a nice tight pull. See how they just give that nice little edging there. From here then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I prefer an odd number for most times that I'm doing any sort of wrapping around or bezeling, because it almost makes a little point rather than separating out the beads awkwardly two to a side. Again, see how that looks nice on the corner? We're going to make sure though that it sits on the interior. We're going to continue this same pattern 2 more times as we go around and just pull these in. This also works to pull those ovals in, so you will be able to see them more on the front of the project. I've got 2 more then to go, getting in that squared shape. You can see it really well on the gold here as that edges around my round crystals. Once you're completed with your seed beads around the exterior edge here, I want you to go back through your oval crystal. So you're coming out your grouping of 6 there after adding in your last set of 5 beads towards the interior of the crystal, and you're coming out through that back of the crystal. We're going to go and put this on the side here so that way it sits like this, or you can put it upright. It's up to you the way that you want to do your clasp and your bail. So you can have it on the diamond or you can have it on the square. To do the bail, you're going to extend your seed beads from one hole of the other in the oval crystals. If you want to do it on the square, you'll just extend it from one hole to the other along the back or the exterior of your crystal oval. So it's up to you whether or not you want it like this or like this. Both are really pretty. I'm going to do it on that diagonal, and we're going to pick up our 15 O's, 1, 2, 3 of our 15s, 1 of our crystal, and 3 more of our 15 O seed beads. Sewing out the exterior of the crystal there, I'm going to go into the other hole of the crystal next door and pull that across the back. So see how that just kind of decorates the back just a little tiny bit. You don't really even see it much from the front. It's just to hold it all together there. From here, I'm going to go back through my 15 crystal 15. And then I'm also going to go back through my oval, so I'm back at that starting spot. And into the back. There we go. So we're now at the back of the crystal and we're going to create our bail. So to create our bail, I want to come out of that crystal along the back. And again, if you're doing it on the square, all you'll do is just maybe 6 seed beads there, come out of the first, go through the first 4 seed beads, so you're coming out of the 4th seed bead. Along the front here, I'm just going to do a little bit of a ladder stitch. 4 beads go on. So back through that first crystal. So back through those 4 beads. And then simply add 4 more. So I'm back through these 4 here. And then once I'm back through those 4, get that nice tight pull so I don't see any extra thread hanging out along the top here. 4 more go on. So I'll do it from the back so it's a little bit easier to see. 4 go on, back through the 4 that I just added. After I'm back through those 4 that I just added, then I go through the 4 that are currently on my threaded needle. So back through those 4, and now back through the 4 I added. So you can see that second set of 4. Once again then, coming out, 1, 2, 3, 4 seed beads get added. So into the opposite side of the 4 that your thread is currently coming out of. It's easier to see as it gets away from the crystal. Those 4 will lay next to those previous ones. And now you sew back through the 4 beads that you just added on this 3rd row. Sometimes it's easy to get all 4 at once. Sometimes they want to be tricky. There you go. So you're just going to continue with this nice ladder stitch bail the whole way around whatever you're going to be using. So if you want to use some leather cord, if you want to use some seed beads, do a crystal color, that's up to you what you want it to do. I'm going to do probably 12 total rows of my, or maybe 10 rows total of my grouping of 4, and then I'll show you how we're going to connect it to the crystal in the front to create our nice bail. So once you have 10 to 12 rows of your ladder stitch here, it's up to you how you want to attach the bail. So you'll see that just ladder stitch row here. You can turn it over the front if you want to and connect it to the crystals in the front there. You can connect it if you want to keep that open to the crystal in the back. And again, if you're on the side here, you just connect it right to the back. What I'm going to do is connect it to the back so that way the pendant sits really forward and front on my cord that I'm going to put it on. So to do so, I'm coming out of my last ladder stitch, very simple. You're going to go back into your crystal. So whether or not you're going to the front or the back here, I'm going to sew from one side that my thread is on, right side, over to the left. From here then, I'm going to take my thread and needle through that last row of ladder stitch into the other side. Nice tight pull, and the bail sits then right there along the back over top of that second crystal that I'll stick up just a little bit. From here, I want to go back through the crystal along the side, because what I need to do now is get my thread tied off. So that starter thread that I have available and right here, I'm actually going to pull through the project and bring to the back, take my needle and thread, pass it through the piece so I can bring it up toward that back start. So I'm going to go through the 3 15-0s after the crystal, pulling that thread through. Then I'm actually going to jump over to the 3 that connect to my PieDuo. Go through those 3 seed beads, and then also go through my PieDuo. As I'm at the PieDuo, I'll go through those 15s toward the interior. And as you go to the interior then, kind of wiggle it through, I'm just going to go through those middle 5 beads to bring my thread and needle out toward here, bring that thread to the back, and tie it off very, very simply to finish off my nice glisten pendant. You can do these, like I said, on the square, on the round, and they're really quick and really simple, but quite impactful with all those crystals and all that bling. As always, thanks so much for joining me in creating this glisten pendant. I'm going to hold it up, but it's green, so it disappears. So I'll hold up the blue one for you to get an idea of the size of the crystal. It's the perfect little pendant and very quick to make. Remember, if you do need any materials, go ahead and check out the links below to shop with us online at PotomacBeads.com, as well as PotomacBeads.eu. Also, remember to give little comments below, give a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already yet to this YouTube channel so you don't miss anything from this awesome beading community. As always, you can post your own pictures of your glisten pendant in the colors of your choice. I can't wait to see the different colors because they are so blingy and glisten so much in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. As always, again, thanks so much for joining me and enjoy your glisten pendant.